What is up, fellow summoners? Welcome to the channel today. Thanks for stopping by. What to do with your scrap? I can feel it right now. There are a lot of questions coming my way, which is totally fine. But I think by explaining what I think I'm going to do with all of my scrap, I hopefully will be able to answer several of your own questions as well. There's a lot of stuff that I wasn't really aware of. I haven't been paying close enough attention to the events to know exactly how much you were going to get. What you could spend them on. So the event just dropped a couple hours ago. So I spent some time, hopped over to the BAM forums, looked through all that. Actually watched Rich the Man's video, did a great video on that. Go check it out. Just trying to get a grasp on exactly what all these rewards were going to be. And essentially, I'm just going to run through quickly the amount of scrap that you're going to get, and then I'm going to break that down into what I think that you should actually be spending those on. So in total, if you 100% complete Easy, Normal, Heroic, and Master Mode in the current event quest for Guardians of the Galaxy, and then you 100% explore the Easy, Medium, and Hard Mode for the Scrapyard every 3 days when that rolls out. If you do all of that 100%, you will receive a grand total of 290,000 scrap if you save it all the way up to the end. If you only complete Heroic and Master Mode, which is typically what I do, but then you also complete the Easy, Medium, and Hard Mode on the Scrapyard, that's going to be a total of 230,000. The Scrapyard, I would definitely suggest doing every 3 days. That's going to roll out. They'll do that for a total of 30 days. So there's going to be 10 different Scrapyards that will come. They're really easy to complete. It's only 1 energy per tile. There's only probably a total of maybe 50 tiles, probably less than that in each Scrapyard. So it's very, very easy to complete. Even on hard mode, it's not very difficult at all. So let's just look at Heroic and Master Mode. If you complete that, which I think a lot of people do, and then you do the 100% for the Scrapyard every 3 days, you've got a total of 233,000. So I'm gonna put this at the top of the screen to hold on to that. That's 230,000. Now, if we switch over here to the actual rewards that you can receive, you've got your 3 different zones. I don't know if I can stress this enough, but do not spend your do not spend your scrap on crystals. Don't spend them on gold. Don't spend them on tier 1, 2, or 3 catalysts. I really would not even suggest you spending them on tier 4 catalysts. Everything that is on here outside of the mastery cores are fairly easy to get. And I say easy in that, you know, your tier catalysts 1, 2, and 3, you can get those any day that you want by running the events. The gold, you can farm arenas. You know, 3-star hero crystals, even 4-star hero crystals are fairly commonplace in the game. But when it comes to the mastery cores, both the stony mastery cores and the carbonadium mastery cores, those are difficult to receive because they cost a lot of units. And unless you're a very hardcore grinder, or unless you spend money on units, units are probably the most difficult thing to hoard. I don't want to say difficult, but it's a very slow process to be able to build up enough of those stony mastery cores, or excuse me, build up enough units to buy a lot of those stony mastery cores and carbonadium mastery cores, because those unlock some of the most powerful masteries in the game. And I think more than anything else, more than any crystal that you could open, more than any alpha catalyst that you could get, your masteries affect every single match, whether it's arena, alliance wars, alliance war defense, offense, alliance questing, events. Your masteries affect each and every one of those fights, so they have the biggest impact on the game. So whenever you have an opportunity like this to be able to get these mastery cores without spending any units at all, I think that is far and away, head and shoulders, as far as value, more valuable than anything else on this list. So there are 2 areas that I would highly suggest you looking at putting these mastery cores into. The first would be opening up the Despair, Deep Wounds, and the Assassin Mastery. And if you've done that, then there's kind of a secondary option that you can look at with the Suicide Masteries. I'll talk about that one in a second, because I think opening up Despair, Deep Wounds, and Assassin are probably the most important. I throw Despair in there only because you have to unlock it to get to Deep Wounds and Assassin. But I'm just going to deal with large numbers here. So if you add up the number of carbonadium mastery cores and also the stony mastery cores to put 1 point in Despair, Deep Wounds, and Assassin, It's going to be 120,000 scrap for the carbonadiums and 30,000 scrap for the stonies. So it's a grand total of 150,000. That will get you 1 point into Despair, Deep Wounds, Assassin. Those are very, very strong, very, very important masteries when you're talking in-game play. Now, if you were just to have run the Heroic Master events 100% and then the Scrapyard, remember that number was 230,000. So you've got 80,000 scrap left over. The difference between that 230 and then putting 1 point in each of those 3 masteries, the 150, you've got 80,000 left over. So what to do with that? Well, you could throw more points into Assassin. You could throw another point into Deep Wounds. All of that would be a smart thing to do. For me, I think what I finally want to do is go ahead and spend the time to open up the Suicide Masteries. And I say that not because I want to use it for Alliance Wars or questing or anything like that, but now that I see myself starting to do featured hero grinds, or if you're trying to push yourself, you know, in your case, maybe to do grinds for basic champs, you're trying to get to 3.5, you're trying to get to 4 million and push yourself, the Suicide Masteries are going to be a huge benefit to that. And in the past, I've never taken really the time to open up the last mastery in Double Edge, just because I haven't wanted to spend the units on getting that particular Carbonadium core. When I had you know, other masteries like Assassin and Deep Wounds that were not fully maxed out. But I think what this is going to allow me to do is basically have free mastery cores to open up the Suicide Masteries. And when I want to go hardcore for a grind, if there's a champ I really want to get, like Yondu is coming up, Nebula's coming up, I want to grab one of them, if not both of them. I have a very limited amount of time that I can play, so I want to maximize my points. And if I have the Suicide Masteries open to me, that's going to be it's going to be a really big help. I'll just put it that way. So we've got 80,000 scrap left over. In order to open up Glass Cannon, which is the first one, it's going to cost 15,000 for the Stony Mastery Core. I think it's actually two. It's 2 Stony Mastery Cores, excuse me. So that's 15,000 scrap. Recoil is a Carbonadium, so that's 30,000. That puts us to 45. Liquid Courage is only going to cost you 1. So that's another 30,000 there. So that puts us at 75,000. So all we had left over was 80,000. That's going to cost us 75,000. So we got 5,000 left. Then on top of that, we're going to have to open up Double Edge, which Double Edge unfortunately costs 2 Carbonadium cores. That's 60,000. So at this point, what I would recommend that you do is, this is probably one of the few times that you could spend a little bit of time over in the event quest finishing up the normal mode and the easy mode. If you 100% easy mode and normal mode, that's going to give you 60,000 scrap right there. And that's exactly what you need to be able to open Double Edge. So in total, for opening up Glass Cannon, Recoil, Liquid Courage, Double Edge, it's a total of 135,000. And if you take the 80,000 you had left over, plus you finish up easy and normal mode to grab the 60,000, that's 140. You can see you've still got a little bit left over there. So personally, that is what I'm going to do, because I already have a couple of points into Assassin. The argument could be made that I need to open up a few more in Deep Wounds, but I think, like I said, for me personally, there's a lot of featured champs that I want to get, not only for the channel, but I'd like to add them to the roster. I think they're going to make a big difference in the game. And I think for you, you know, wherever you're at in this game, this is a huge opportunity. I mean, I wish I would have had this. These cost me several thousand units to open up each and every one of these. It took me many, many months to get all that in order to open these up. I didn't want to spend any money on it. So if you're newer to the game, or you've only been playing for a couple of months, this is an excellent opportunity to be able to get into these masteries, and it costs you absolutely nothing. So I cannot repeat enough. Please do not go and spend, it may be tempting, do not spend your scrap on hero crystals. Don't spend them on catalyst. Your biggest bang for your buck by far is going to be the mastery cores. The masteries are going to stick with you for a long, long time. That Iron Patriot that you open from your 4-star hero is just going to collect dust in your roster and not do anything for you. So I hope that this has been fairly straightforward. I know there were a lot of numbers there. Basically, if you have any questions on that, you know, rewatch this. But feel free to comment down below. I will try to answer the questions that you have, maybe give further and maybe a little bit more clear explanation on all of this. Alright guys, hopefully this has helped. Scrapyard is an excellent event. I can't stress enough how big of an advantage it is for newer players coming into the game. So make sure, that sounds kind of weird when you say it a lot, but definitely make sure that you go in and you take advantage of it to its fullest extent as much as you absolutely can. Alright guys, have a great day. I will catch you all in the next video.